Hey guys, how's everybody doing? I hope you're well. This kind of video I've been kind of avoiding. I don't like doing sharpening things. I've done a couple showing the Stihl 2-in-1, and honestly I think that's about it. I don't know that I've ever done a video on the Harbor Freight grinder. I've still got it here, and I do plan on mounting it back somewhere here in the shop, so once we get that set in and set back up, we'll add another Harbor Freight grinder video to the other 1,000 that's out there. But I've used it enough to know the ins and outs about it and what you can and can't do with it, but not what this video is about. I ain't trying to flaunt this grinder or push anyone to buy it either. This is the Tecomik. I think it's called like a Jolly Evo or something stupid like that. They're made in Italy. It's a knockoff of the Oregon 410-120 grinder. We're running, I don't know, $250 now. I think we got this one for just a touch under $200. Shipped their door. It'll come with 3 different rocks. And that does matter a lot. The rock that's on it now is meant to do 3/8 and 404 chain. This rock, the thinner one, it's meant to do your 3/8 low pro and your 325, or basically your pico. Then it comes the big square looking rock to do your drags. I've not had the world's best luck doing the drags on the grinder. Seems I always mess up and end up wrecking one of my drags or rakers, whatever you want to call them. And you'll get a little template for dressing your wheel, which is a very important part of this. It don't have to be perfect and identical to that template, but mainly I've found the rock needs to be clean, and it needs to have some sort of round shape to it. It'll come with this little dressing rock. This wheel's already been dressed, but I'll give you an idea of. You just kind of go around. Somebody will be like, that's not how you do it. I don't really care if it works. The chains cut, and they cut damn good. But those are important factors about doing this. I see there's some guys that say that they just don't get good results grinding, that they do better with a file. I'm the opposite. I can get one to cut pretty good the file. I have to really sit and spend some time on it to get a really fast cutting chain. Usually end up using technically 3 different files if you count the flat file, but and I like the gadgets. I like using file guides. I really like the Stihl 2-in-1, but it seems once the chain gets wore about halfway out that, I don't know, I just don't get the same results using that thing. And honestly, the edge on a ground chain, it seems to last a little longer to me. It all depends on your grind angles. You can either go by the manufacturer's specs, or hell, you can just play around with it. We're setting this one up pretty damn aggressive. Normally on a work chain I'd do 25 degrees on the plate angle. I always leave it set on 60 degrees on the head angle. It's just the angle. The cutter actually goes in and cuts in up and under the top plate, if that makes any sense. Then you've got an angle down here on the side. You loosen the knob and slide it back and forth. This is basically your, like if you was filing, it'd be like a 10-degree downward tilt, which is what's required on most full chisel chains. On the angles on this right now, like I said, we're trying to guess if it's an Oregon EXL chain. It's still kind of sharp. It cut quite a bit of wood though. It's do a touch up. The angles we're going to use here today, I'd seen Cajun had commented in my other video, said he ran 30 or 60, 30, and 10. I've run 60, 25, and 10 a lot on full chisel chains, but I've never really went to 30 degrees on a full chisel chain. That's usually something that you would grind a semi chisel at. I was like, what the hell, we'll try it. Well, we're gonna put this on. I just put a muffler on the 395. I may or may not have a video on that. The factory muffler that come in the Farmer Tech kit kind of fell apart inside, and I bought another Chinese muffler. It wasn't a lot better, but I think it'll be fine. I'm trying to think if I've left anything out. To adjust the head angle that's back here knob, there's some numbers you can play around with them. I find 60 degrees has a pretty good pull. Go back toward 50, it doesn't seem to bite as hard. I don't know, it may just be me. And a lot of the times I'll leave the tilt on 0 if it's a work chain somewhere and it'll be dirty. Usually I most always grind at 60, 25 and 0. I have good luck there. The chains seem to last a long time there. You can hit the dirt with them several times and you know they're still sharp and still pulling. Just, you know, it just is what it is. Other things on these grinders, you need to get this adjusted just perfect. I don't remember how the one on the Harbor Freight grinder was. I think it was made similar. The Harbor Freight grinder I've got has like the big bicycle handbrake deal on it. Just some cheap Chinese stuff, but that grinder's like 6-7 years old and still works, so I can't really say a whole lot about it, but this needs really replaced. I may need to order one eventually, but you need to line this up to where it's dead center with your cutter. And I see guys just fly through grinding the chain. It could be why you're not getting that good of results. And I'll tighten down every time. I'll get it set and centered and tighten down every time. If you don't, that cutter will wiggle. It'll move just enough to throw the cut angles off. Gosh, guys, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. And just like when you're falling, grind until you see a burr come back across the top plate. That's when you'll know it's good. You can stop and check it with your finger. And you know, you should get something you like, I guess. I don't know, maybe it's just my falling. I'd about put one of these against that. I've got a brand new Oregon CL, they call it their race chain square ground. I don't think it cuts a whole lot faster, if any, than one of these ground chains that I've done here. The material of the chain makes a big difference too. Just a lot of variables on it. I've found these Oregons, they grind back real nice. Some do and some don't, I guess, but other things, I like to mark the chain. You can probably see where I've got it marked. Just some white fingernail polish usually. It usually stays on there a while too. When you come back to grind again, you can go back by that. But you get this set up, I've done got it all set up, I'm sorry guys, but to where you're just barely touching the cutter. You do that by adjusting back here, and then I should probably have it lock nutted down, but I never do. You got a lock nut here, you'll break loose, and then I'm sure every grinder's different. I'd really like to have a Symington grinder once I get some things called up here, maybe next year. That's something we're looking into getting, but who knows. I seen some fella advertising some kind of little gadget to go onto one of these grinders to where you could get a square ground effect, and you can blunt this off and kind of get it more square, but it seemed like it dulls really quick. It's better if it's best if you go by that template really, but I have no idea where mine's at, and I've not used it ever, I don't think. But anyway, I think I've covered most of it. What we'll do now is grind a tooth or two, and then I'll take you guys off the tripod and give you a look at it. Oh, your cutter depth, you want to be kind of hard to explain, I guess. What I'll do is I'll get it down to just where the wheel's not touching the top strap of the chain. It'll leave a gullet. It doesn't matter on a ground chain. You can go all the way to the tie strap. Like I said, it really doesn't matter, but I like to just get you know, a little hook in it just right up under the top plate, and if that makes any sense to anyone. And they seem to grab and pull an ice chip, but I'll quit running my mouth. This is probably a horrible tutorial, which it ain't really a tutorial, it's just my take on it. But we'll get this thing going and make a cut or two here, or grind or two. You never want to just sit and keep the wheel against the cutter. Like I said, keep tapping it till you've got a burr. We got a little burr rolled back, and that cutter is, I promise you, you could shave with it. I can get the GoPro down here. There, you got a good look on it. Look at it from the top. I'm telling you guys, that thing is razor sharp. They hold their edge. You know, if you're not having good results with the grinder, you know, sit and practice with it. Try different angles. Like I said, I don't know if I've done 30 degrees on a big full chisel chain. And honestly, you'll think I'm crazy, but the first chain I ever ground or grinder I used was back in high school in about 94, I think. I took a small engine repair class in vocational school back then, and all we kind of ground back then was them little low pro chains that was on the Super 2s, but the grinder was really similar to this from what I remember. It may have been a little bigger, and of course it was a lot damn older, but it was pretty easy for me once I got the Harbor Freight one to pick up and just go to grinding again. But anyway, the next thing I guess I'll show is, I don't have to show filing the drags down. I know you guys know how to do that. We'll show it out back and making a cut, because I need to do that for another video I'm working on anyway. But you know, maybe this helps someone, maybe it didn't, maybe someone thinks I'm full of it, or maybe it was just entertaining. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a great day.